Columbia man is waiting to learn his punishment for dealing deadly synthetic heroin. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marissa Hollowed.
And I'm Joey Parker. 21-year-old Nick Burris pleaded guilty to the crime today in federal court. ABC 17's Dan Messinio talked to an undercover agent with Columbia Police Narcotics Unit. And Dan, he says they don't often see this type of heroin here.
Yeah, Joey, and authorities say that Burris got that heroin from another Columbia man, 25-year-old Marquette Morrell. Now, Morrell pleaded guilty, but in December for distributing synthetic heroin. Last August, 21-year-old Nick Burris was hanging out at a house on West Broadway. Authorities say around midnight, an 18-year-old man at the house overdosed on heroin and died. Heroin Burris gave him.
It was a death investigation that they deemed to be as a drug overdose. And so when we got there, we concurred that it was a drug overdose.
This Columbia Police undercover sergeant handled the initial investigation, but the CPD narcotics unit handed the case to federal authorities, the protocol for a drug-related death. Burris pleaded guilty today for his role in dealing the synthetic heroin that killed the man. Authorities say it was a potentially lethal combination of heroin and acetylfentanyl, a potent painkiller.
You're used to doing this much, and now you're doing the same amount, but it's not the same substance. It's going to have different reactions, and when it does, it's going to have consequences that are not going to be favorable.
Columbia authorities say heroin is a drug they see frequently, but mixing it with acetylfentanyl, like in this case, is something out of the ordinary. They tell me it's extremely dangerous and highly addictive.
The majority of the time that we spend, investigating drug activities and that kind of thing goes toward heroin because that's what's causing deaths here in town.
Authorities tell me it's difficult to know where this heroin came from because it switches hands so many times before it gets to the user. And they say along the way, many different chemicals are added to it. Reporting live in the newsroom, Dan Messinio, ABC 17 News.
Sentencing hearings for Burris and Morrell will be scheduled.